All right, in this video, I am going to be talking about some of the Adobe apps. So we get all of the Adobe apps for free, being a student here. So if you go into your app store and in the search bar, you just want to type in Adobe. All the Adobe stuff you guys get for free. So when you search for it, the first one I'm going to talk about here is Photoshop Camera Photo Filters. So I'm going to go ahead and get it. I'm going to install it. And it's going to take a second to install. What Photoshop Camera Filters is, it takes your pictures and you can apply different kind of filters on it to make it more artsy. What's interesting about the Photoshop Camera Photo Filter is that you can actually take pictures in app. Some people like that, some people don't. I like that there's the option to do that if I want. Another cool thing about this app is that you can easily change the backgrounds. You can blur the background of portraits. There's a whole lens library that's really interesting to look at. So I saw that my app has been downloaded, so I'm going to go ahead and open it. You're going to see a little video here. I'm going to go ahead and skip this intro. I'm going to skip all that. Now, the first time that you ever use this app, you are going to have to sign in using your Adobe ID. So we're going to hit sign in. And then what you want to do is you want to sign in with your school information. So I'm typing in my whole school address. And then I'm going to hit continue. Now I have double verification on my phone. You guys probably won't. So it's sending me a code right now as we speak. And I just like this added protection. Then I'm gonna enter in my password. All right, so now that I've fully signed into Photoshop, the PS camera, when you open it, it's gonna ask you a bunch of questions like, do you want it to have access to your photos? Basically, you wanna say yes to everything. So when you first open the app, you do have the capability of taking pictures from this app. You can also go to the gallery here, and it's probably gonna ask you for permission to pick pictures from your photo gallery. And then you can go to your camera roll and pick a photo to experiment with. So if I go to my camera roll and I purposely chose to take a picture that's not so great, maybe average at best, but if you notice, there was a little animation where it automatically fixed my photo for me. Now, just because it's a smartphone does not mean it's going to make a smart decision for you. So if you click the little magic wand at the top right hand corner, you can see the before and the after. So I believe that does look better with the automatic edits, but I think I can make this picture even better. So if we're just exploring around in this app, I can go up to the top right hand corner, and when I click on it, I can play with the shadows, I can play with the highlights, the clarity, the vibrance, the exposure. So there's all kinds of things in here that you can play around with. With food photography, I personally like them to be a little bit on the bright side. When you're editing your photos, you want to make sure that your brightness on your screen is all the way up so that you don't accidentally edit it the wrong way. So I want to make this photo a little bit brighter. Okay, that looks pretty good. I tend to make food photos a little bit more on the bright side. Now these other things here, if your pictures were dull, you can change up the brightness. Good photos don't need a whole lot of editing, so I'm gonna hit done. I can experiment here and see what the other buttons do. I can try Photoshop Express, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. I could put lenses on here. Now these are just to make your photos a little bit on the more artsy side versus realism side. So if I click portrait, you might not see a whole lot of difference. I see a lot brighter picture. If you click on that portrait image again, you can play around with different features, but that filter is more for a portrait, and we're dealing with food here. So if I go to pop art, I can really go crazy with this kind of image and make it fun and cool and play around with different things. So the best advice that I could give you is I want you to kind of play around and see what you can do in this app. You might be surprised different images look differently. So I'm on the spectrum filter right now, which did some really crazy things. There's just so many free apps out there too that do different things. It looks like there's a Billie Eilish one. It's loading. I don't know what it's gonna look like. But because our school pays for these apps, you might as well use them. That one doesn't really fit for my picture all that well. This one's kind of cool in that it's a little artsy. Let's see what's on the food filter here. Food one actually looks pretty good. Again, you can tap on that icon to change and tweak your photos a little bit. But again, there's so many more things on here. Now, when you get to the end, there might be an add more button, so I can click that. And you can just go and look at the lens gallery. They're constantly adding new lenses. So if there's something that you're like, oh man, I really wanted a high contrast, gritty photo for my photo, I can click on it. I can click add lens. It gives you a little detail and it shows you what they look like. I'm gonna hit open. And if you notice, it's one of the first things that came up on your filters. And again, you can click it, you can change it around, add some more texture just by sliding your finger back and forth. Because this is a food photo, maybe it doesn't work that well. Again, the best photos are ones that you don't have to edit too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and as far as this app goes, once you're done editing your image, you can hit on the bottom right hand corner the little download button, and you can crop your photo however you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and save the original photo because I cropped with my phone and saved to my camera roll, so that now it's saved on my camera roll. I can see a huge difference between the first photo. I'm going to hit and the second photo. What's kind of cool, it has that animation there. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about with this app is if I hit the share button, I can go ahead and click next here. You can export this to Lightroom. You can send it in your messages, or you can click more. You can email it to yourself, which is really nice that you can do it to the app. You can put it on Flickr, which is awesome. So there's a lot of different things out there for you to edit and to help make your lives easier. If I go back one, I'm gonna go ahead and discard my changes here. Go back. Now that I'm back on my actual camera lens, I can tap to try a lens. So right now I'm in this portrait mode. I'm looking at, let me grab a pencil here, and I can move my pencil just on my laptop, and I can take a really boring, bland scene and make it more interesting. Now if I swipe, I can swipe for variations of that scene. So I'm just swiping it and I can get all kinds of variations. It's a really cool, fun app. Somebody asked me what is on the top left screen, so I'm gonna go ahead and click that. That just goes back to your lens library, and you can manage your lenses if you get bored with certain ones, or you can add more. So that's pretty much what this app does and what it's all about. I want you to have fun with it. I want you to explore it. And if you have any questions, feel free to email.